Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to Storyteller's Corner. Yeah, I was going to cut that bit there, leave it in. Welcome to Storyteller's Corner for Monday, the 17th of August. Let me just turn the camera and show you toffees. Relax. Look at little toffee pops. Toffee's very chilled out in Storyteller's Corner. And also, guys, as you see that washing line there, that bit of tissue. You see the bit of tissue? There's a wasp trying to make a nest in there, so I blocked it off. It keeps going in there with little bits of leaves. So I blocked it off. It can't live in there rent free. So let him make a nest somewhere else because I don't want to get stung. So anyway, guys, let me turn. There we go. Now, no, it's very limited what I can do, guys, because I've got no internet properly. So that's why there's no morning prayer and no Bible verse to change your life. So all we're going to do today is, this morning, we're going to do our story, Letters Across the Sea. And it is chapter 30 now, guys. Chapter 30. And it is Forever Begins Today. So let's read on, guys. Let's see how Maria and James are getting on. This is chapter 30 in Letters Across the Sea. Forever Begins Today. Before sunrise, Baguio City awoke beneath a blanket of soft morning mist. The pine trees stood quietly against the pale sky, and the cool mountains air carried the scent of fresh flowers towards the little stone church perched on a hillside overlooking the city. Today was the day. After oceans crossed, letters exchanged, prayers whispered, and countless moments of waiting, James Whitmore and Maria Santos would become husband and wife. So we're going to a wedding, guys. So inside her family home, Maria's bedroom buzzed with gentle excitement. Her cousins carefully arranged her veil, her aunt adjusted the lace sleeves on her dress. Someone laughed in the hallway. Someone else reminded everyone not to cry before the ceremony had begun. Maria's mother entered carrying a small wooden box. "I have something for you." She opened it. Inside lay the very first letter James had ever written. "You kept it." "I kept everyone." Their mother smiled. "I thought today it should be with you." Maria held the letter against her heart. "It all started here." "No," her mother said gently, "it started with God. The letter was simply his way of introducing you." Tears filled Maria's eyes. She embraced her mother tightly. Across town, James stood inside a small room beside the church. Peter adjusted his tie for the third time. "Stop fidgeting." "I'm not fidgeting." "You've straightened your jacket 5 times. James laughed nervously. "I can't help it." Peter smiled. "You're about to be married the love of your life." "I know. You've got this." James took a slow breath. "I've waited a long time for this moment." Peter grinned. "And she's probably made everyone cry already." James laughed. "She probably is." The church bells began to ring. Guests filled the pews. Some had travelled from England. Others had come from every corner of the Philippines. Different accents filled the sanctuary. Different cultures, but one celebration. Mrs. Edith Collins sat beside Maria's mother. Neither woman had known each other than a year ago. Now they smiled like old friends. "Who would have thought it?" Mrs. Collins whispered. Maria's mother smiled. "God did." The music began. James turned towards the entrance. The church door slowly opened, and there she was. Maria stood beneath a morning light, her simple lace gown glowing softly as she held a bouquet of white lilies and delicate mountain flowers from Baguio. For a moment, James forgot to breathe. Peter quietly nudged him. "Close your mouth." James laughed through the tears already gathering in his eyes. "I told you I'd cry." Maria began walking down the aisle. Every step carried a memory. The first letter, the first video call, Burnham Park, Ashcombe, the proposal, every goodbye, every prayer. And now, this. When she reached James, she whispered softly, "You look beautiful." Maria smiled. "So do you." The ceremony was simple, exactly as they had hoped. The pastor spoke from Ecclesiastes, "Two are better than one." He looked at the couple. Your story reminds us that love is strengthened by patience, faith, and the courage to trust God's timing. Then came the vows. James took Maria's hand. They're shaking. So are yours, she whispered. The church laughed gently. James smiled. Good. Then he began. Maria, I knew your face. I knew your kindness. She smiled through the tears. Before I stood beside you, I walked beside you through letters. His voice grew steadier. I promise to love you in every season. I promise to listen before I speak. I promise to pray with you. I promise to cross whatever ocean life places before us. And I promise that you will never walk alone. Maria's tears fell freely. It was her turn. She looked directly into his eyes. James, she answered a letter. James, you answered a letter. But more importantly, you answered God's invitation to become part of my life. She smiled warmly. I promised to laugh with you. I promised to comfort you. I promised to honour your home as you have honoured mine. I promised to choose you every day, and wherever God leads us, that will be our home. There wasn't a dry eye in the church. Everybody was crying. The rings were exchanged, simple gold bands. The pastor smiled. James, you may kiss your bride. The kiss was gentle, warm, full of gratitude. The church erupted into joyful applause. The bells rang loudly across Baguio. Outside, the morning mist began lifting from the mountains as though the city itself had awakened to celebrate. After the ceremony, guests gathered outside the church. Photographs filled the afternoon. Mrs. Collins embraced Maria. I've been waiting to call you Mrs. Whitmore. Maria laughed. I'm still getting used to it. Her mother hugged James. Take care of each other. We will. I know you will. That evening, beneath strings of warm lights in the garden, the wedding reception was filled with music from both England and the Philippines. English scones sat beside Filipino delicacies. Tea was served alongside Baguio coffee. Laughter echoed beneath the pine trees. Finally, James stood up with a glass in his hand. I have one last gift. He opened a small wooden box he had carried across the world. Inside was the letter. He unfolded it. My dearest Maria, the garden grew quiet. Before I knew your name, I didn't know how much my life was missing. Then one letter crossed the sea. It taught me that God can write beautiful stories with ordinary people. He looked at his wife. Today, we're no longer writing from opposite sides of the ocean. He smiled. We're writing the same story. Maria embraced him as applause filled the garden, and then the stars shone over Baguio. Somewhere beyond the horizon lay Ashcombe. 2 homes, 2 families, 1 marriage. And love stories that prove that sometimes the most extraordinary journeys begin with the simplest word, dear friend. There we go. And now, James and Maria have joined us in married life. So, join the club, guys. James, see what it's like to be married. See if your wife stops shouting at you. You've missed a spot on the washing up, or my wife says to me, when I wash the plates, she says, you're not washing them, you're only tickling them. So James, get used to that. But other than that, we wish James and Maria a happy marriage with God's blessings, and we offer them our congratulations. So join me for chapter 31 tomorrow, a new beginning in Palawan. I think this must be their honeymoon in Palawan. Very nice, very nice. So there we go, guys. But we're going back to our other story, our coffee shop romance, our other lovely couple, Daniel and Emma. And it is chapter 22 now, The Question in the Lantern Light. Sounds very romantic. So let's see what they're up to tonight, guys. Until then, sorry about the morning prayer and the Bible verse to change your life, but I'm having internet problems. So join me tonight for our coffee shop romance, The Corner Table, for chapter 22, The Question in the Lantern Light. So there we go. All's well that ends well. So there we go, guys. Thank you for joining me in Storyteller's Corner. Me and Toffee. Toffee's down there. I don't know where Snowy is. He's waiting for that electric scooter. He's going to ambush it. He gets angry when it comes past the gate. But anyway, guys, have a blessed Monday. It's a brand new start to the week. So it's filled with God's grace. New grace every day. So have a lovely day, guys. And thank you for joining me in Storyteller's Corner. Bye-bye now. Take care. Bye.